what we saw last night, 61 million views and counting within 12 hours. And that was as of 3 hours ago. I can only imagine what the numbers are now. But let's not forget, this is because of Brock Lesnar. And as happy as I am for Femi that he's in this position, I do have to question about Gunther. We're going to get to that. I do have to question about what are we going to do if Brock Lesnar actually loses at WrestleMania. I'm hoping he doesn't. But what happens if he does? So we've got quite a bit we got to get into in this video. I'm going to try and make it as quick as possible. I'm trying to not make it another 30-minute video or anything like that. So make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's just go ahead and get into this. So we're already seeing the fans overblowing the situation entirely, as we always do. What we saw last night, Femi going into the ring, going face-to-face with Brock Lesnar, doing that pop-up powerbomb, which, by the way, can we please change his finisher? This guy he still only knows about 3 or 4 real moves in the ring. And again, you can kind of make that work. I mean, just ask Goldberg. But at some point, he's going to have to, add a little bit more to his repertoire other than an entrance. Because we saw that last year with Jey Uso. That didn't go over too well. I still don't think Femi's the best promo guy. But guess what? He's got a big fan base behind him. And yes, the dude does have aura, but I'm not going to say he has the most aura like all the other people are doing. Again, we're overdoing it, man. We really are. We're giving him way too much credit. Let the man grow. Let his character grow. This is a good start for him. And again, I'm not trying to be no hater or anything like that, but he has yet to have a one-on-one match on pay-per-view since hitting the main roster. Yes, he relinquished the NXT Championship, but you have this guy pretty much on a streak right now. On a hot streak. My question to you is, what made these guys, whether it's Triple H, I know he's the last line of defense when it comes to creative decision and all that other stuff, whether this was his actual idea or not, I have no idea. But it makes all the sense in the world that you've added another woman to the Raw writing team. And now we have Femi, who has yet to have a real one-on-one match on pay-per-view. That's one. And two, has yet to really face anybody other than Rusev, if we really want to count Rusev. Because what has he done since he's been back? But we'll let Femi go off. We'll let him go off and go on to WrestleMania, because what happened last night, I'll say that was a pretty good segment. Other than the fact you kind of threw us off with the whole Seth Rollins, and we already knew that Brock Lesnar wasn't facing Rollins at WrestleMania. We already knew that Rollins was not going to be the guy to answer the challenge. At least I knew that. That was pretty evident. So that was kind of a weird segment we got last night, but in the end, it did what it was supposed to do. We got the internet talking. You got people like me making videos about this. So obviously you did what you were supposed to do, especially coming off of, well, what happened the night before, which was Ronda Rousey showing up in AEW. But then you have fans like this that are going to sit here, and again, we're trying to make this guy overrated. Now we're trying to get this guy into every single fucking position, trying to book him into every single angle. Like, fam, relax. Femi has time. Because the last thing we want to do, and I used this as an example earlier when I was talking to my boys about this, you can't have another Finn Balor situation. Finn Balor won the Universal Championship, his very first pay-per-view on the main roster, after being NXT champion. Great NXT champion, by the way. But you had him win that Universal title, his first world title, in his very first pay-per-view match against Seth Rollins, by the way. Which, like, it's not like he faced a nobody. He faced Seth Rollins. He won. Obviously, we know what happened with the whole injury thing. He only had it for like about a day. 24 hours later, he had to relinquish it. And then, obviously, you had the whole Kevin Owens thing. And he took that angle and he ran with that along with Jericho. Still one of the greatest world title runs in recent memory. But if I have to be honest about this, man, what happened to Finn Balor after that? Did he ever win a world title after winning that Universal Championship? No, he plateaued. And we're talking about Finn fucking Balor. Prince Devitt, y'all. And ever since then, he has been chasing a world title and has only plateaued or even gotten worse. And that was 10 years ago, almost, damn near. Femi is just now coming into his own as a professional wrestler. Having him beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, I do not think is going to be a good idea. Actually, I know it's not a good idea. Because where does he go after this? Now you're going to put a world title on him by SummerSlam? This guy who couldn't even beat Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night's Main Event. And I understand that they had him. They had Drew McIntyre interfere and all other stuff. But it just makes zero sense, bro. It makes zero sense for a couple reasons, actually. Let's talk about Gunther. Gunther, the guy that you just had retire Goldberg last summer, retire Cena last December, retire AJ Styles a month later, and is also a two-time world heavyweight champion and one of the longest reigning intercontinental champions. And now you're keeping him, and this guy's on the Raw roster, by the way. Now you're keeping him away from Brock Lesnar? You have two of your best wrestlers in Io Sky and Gunther. And this is March, what's the date on here? March 17th. And they have yet to have a WrestleMania match announced. You had Gunther feuding with Dragon fucking Lee 2 weeks ago. Are you kidding me? But yet, these people want to act like Femi is the greatest thing since sliced bread. He may be the next big thing. Give him time. Let the man breathe. This is the problem. This is the exact same comparison that I have when it comes to the mid movie of Sinners. People can't take the fact that Sinners is just a good movie. They have to make it into this big spectacle. They have to make it into, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, for the culture and stuff, blah, 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 blah. Same thing with Femi. It's for the culture, blah, 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 blah. This is what Martin Luther King fought for, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bruh. Can we just have a good wrestler? Can we just have a guy that we just let breathe for a second? Yes, I'm glad we can be happy for the guy. I'm happy for the guy that he's getting his WrestleMania moment. But let's not get carried away, and let's not act like clowns about this in the situation. Let's be for real for a second. Let's have at least a little bit of wrestling fan integrity in the situation. And when I say that, I mean this. Femi is just now getting to the main roster. We have yet to really see what this guy can do other than that Rusev match and a couple of handicap matches he did. I mean, look at what he did to the War Raiders. Look at what he did. Rusev still gave him a run for his money. So, look, man. Femi cannot win this match at WrestleMania. I'm not hating on him. I'm not trying to, keep the brother down or nothing like that. But it simply does not make any sense that you had Brock Lesnar beat John Cena the way he beat him, not even a year ago, and have him lose to fucking Femi at WrestleMania at that. So, for y'all to just continue to gaslight this man and say this should be this is who should be walking into Mania for a world title match, but here we are. This is a guy that was barely even on the main roster by the time Royal Rumble came around 2 months ago. What the fuck are we talking about? Again, man, we have to right now. To me, right now, he's good. Putting up against Brock Lesnar, compared to Brock Lesnar, he's mid. And Brock Lesnar, all he does now is German suplexes. And Obafemi is still mid compared to Brock Lesnar. Now, is he bigger, stronger, probably faster? Yeah. 100%. You can clearly tell that. But have you got, like, you guys are talking as if you haven't watched an Obafemi match. You guys talk as if you haven't watched an Obafemi promo. This guy says, Obafemi is crying. That's how much this shit means to him. If WWE doesn't push this man to the moon and make him one of the faces of the company, then everybody needs to be fired. These are the unrealistic expectations that we're putting on him now. We're expected to look at the dog shit that we've been fed as WWE consumers over the past year. Hell, I'd say a year and a half. And now expect it to kiss their ass because they put Obafemi in a match against Brock Lesnar. That makes zero sense as to why this is even happening. As to why Obafemi, of all people, is answering the challenge of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. When this guy hasn't even been there for a cup of coffee on the main roster. This is what we should expect from wrestling fans now. Fake outrage and fake praise. That's all this is. Again, happy for Obafemi. Great opportunity for him. Great spotlight for him. But he's got a whole career ahead of him. Having him beat Brock Lesnar with him not doing diddly squat on the main roster makes no sense whatsoever. Here goes another one. Obafemi shed a tear after Brock gave him this moment in the ring. Brock was trying so hard not to smile. Fucking GOAT, man. First of all, Brock Lesnar has already been one of the greatest, but y'all never wanted to acknowledge him until he let the black man pop up powerbomb in the middle of a fucking ring. Now y'all want to praise Brock Lesnar. Now he's no longer a quote-unquote abuser, because that's a term that y'all want to use now. That's a regurgitated term that everybody wants to say about everybody now, about every fucking celebrity or entertainer that they don't like now, or athlete. He's an abuser with zero fucking context or anything. Zero context, zero fucking evidence. Oh, they let this abuser in the ring and on TV. Excuse me, this quote-unquote abuser that you speak of just got WWE 61 million views in 12 hours. I'd probably shut the fuck up. If WWE was a real company, they should start an Obafemi WrestleMania streak this year. This is ridiculous, man. This is fucking ridiculous. And you got this comment down here: starting a streak by beating the person who ended one would be beautiful. This is ridiculous, man. What has the fandom become? I get it. We can be happy for the guy. We can be, happy for the situation there. But this is WWE literally throwing shit at the wall. This is the creative team throwing shit at the wall. Look, last night's episode of Raw was actually a pretty good episode. I'll give him that. The AJ Lee match was awful. I thought the Roman Reigns and CM Punk promo was good until literally like the last 5 minutes of it. It was a pretty good episode of Raw. But let's be real, man. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar does not move the needle for WrestleMania. It's not going to sell you more tickets for WrestleMania. And if it is, it's because of Brock Lesnar. There's a reason why it got that many views. There's a reason why people are talking about this. If this was any other wrestler that Obafemi, as AJ Styles is my number one favorite wrestler, but if AJ Styles said, you know what, I'm not retiring just yet. I'm going to cut my retirement and I'm going to face Obafemi at WrestleMania in my very last match. It'd get tweeted about. It'd get trended about. It ain't going to get no 61 million views. So we got to be honest about the situation, and we have to look at it as if, and at least act like we've been watching wrestling for longer than 15 fucking years. Please. Here goes some more Obafemi simps. In all my years of wrestling, there are rare moments where the arena reaches a fever pitch. It is so loud you can barely hear anything, or something very few wrestlers ever get to experience. Femi experienced that moment, and he even shed a tear because of it. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar looked like he was trying not to smile because both of them realized they had just created something special. Something that's going to be etched in history. I doubt it. X to doubt. WWE is sitting on a gold mine with Femi versus Brock Lesnar. And I'm glad we're getting it at WrestleMania 42. Easily the best thing to come out of Monday Night Raw so far this year. Everything else on the road to WrestleMania, this is the kicker right here. This is the one that really makes me like shake my fucking head. Everything else on the road to WrestleMania needs to meet this standard. You put Femi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and you're saying step up to the fucking plate? Are you kidding me right now? That's the standard for all this? I'm sorry. I didn't get the memo that Femi versus Brock Lesnar, Femi who was 2-0 or 3-0 on the main roster against Brock fucking Lesnar is the standard. I could see if this was UFC or I'm not disrespecting professional wrestling one bit, obviously. Of all the people I know, I'm the biggest fucking wrestling fan. By far. So I'm not disrespecting the sport when I say this. Or at least not trying to. But I could see if this was UFC. I could see if this was, an actual real combat sport. Where it's like, okay, guy's 3-0. He's done something pretty impressive. Bro, this guy is 3-0 on the main roster. Hasn't even been on the main roster for longer than 3 months. If even 3 months. And now we're saying that this moment's going to be etched in history and blah, blah. Like, are we just forgetting what happened 6 years ago? Are we just forgetting about the fact that Drew McIntyre did the exact same thing to Lesnar, if not actually more, because Lesnar was the champion. Drew McIntyre eliminated him in the Royal Rumble. Hit a claymored him over the top rope. Are we just forgetting that? Are we just forgetting the fact that Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? Now, I'm not one to really listen too much to Tommy Dreamer's opinion on Busted Open whenever I do listen to Busted Open, because Tommy Dreamer is one of those, like, he's very positive about every single thing. But here goes Tommy Dreamer, another one. Tommy Dreamer says Michael Cole saying holy shit following Femi dropping Brock Lesnar on WWE Raw was the best use of a curse word on the microphone in the past decade. So, here's another gripe that I had. Because up here, and I don't feel as radical as this guy does when he says WWE just ruined a perfectly good Brock Lesnar return. I didn't think it would be perfectly good return with Lesnar at all. Because we knew that Lesnar was going to show up. So that's definitely, you can take perfectly good out of it. But the 20 masked men that nobody likes, of course, with the whole Seth Rollins thing. I don't know why they brought the masked men back after last week with the whole shuffle thing. I don't know why they did that. Brock solos the entire group, but Michael Cole doesn't even react, of course. And then Femi comes out and it's like, oh my God, Femi appears for no reason. Oba buries Brock on his. Now, I'm not gonna say Femi buried Brock, so I disagree with that as well. WrestleMania angle down the toilet. No, I think they did what they were supposed to do. I think that, again, it was a somewhat good segment. I wouldn't have had the 20 masked men thing. I wouldn't have involved Seth Rollins in that whole thing at all. But this guy, he responds, he says, no disrespect to Femi, but how does a former NXT wrestler bury a legend like Lesnar? Now this guy gets it. This guy's at least using his fucking brain and saying, how does an NXT guy that was NXT champion 2-3 months ago, feuding with Ricky fucking Starks, now facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? and we're expecting for him to beat him. I don't think so. I don't think so. And so this is why I probably said, especially after beating Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Undertaker many times, including the Streak, and inside of Hell in a Cell twice. Again, many times. And of course, obviously, John fucking Cena. Not even a year ago, not even 6 months ago, I don't think, was when that match happened. So what are we talking about here? And he dominated Cena twice in his career. So, again, I'm not going to say that Femi's bearing Brock Lesnar. And apparently there's rumors. I haven't seen these rumors, but apparently there are rumors. I heard there are rumors that Brock Lesnar is planning on retiring at Mania. Again, I haven't seen too many of those, so I don't know the credibility of that, and I really hope he doesn't, because I still think that Brock Lesnar has other things that he can do in terms of WWE and helping younger talent, not necessarily younger talent, but newer talent and guys to get over. But I was never expecting LA Knight to show up last night or anything like that, but I was like, man, did they at least consider Gunther? At least consider it? And this is the one that really gets me. And that's why I saved this the best for last. Because, just as I mentioned, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Balor, Taker, Cena. Brock is giving back to the business. Love to see it. Also remember, Brock sells like crazy for the people he likes to work with. Femi is legit. This match will be fire. So, we are forgetting Keith Lee. We are forgetting, again, Drew McIntyre. Giving back to the business. Did Brock Lesnar not have a whole entire trilogy with Cody Rhodes 2 years ago? Did Brock Lesnar not lose to Seth Rollins, the Universal Championship to Seth Rollins, not once but twice? Y'all are killing me, man. Y'all truly are fucking killing me. Did Brock Lesnar, in terms of giving back to the business, did he not give back to the business when he lost to Goldberg in less than a minute? Nobody wants to talk about that, but they want to talk about when Brock Lesnar beat Kofi Kingston in under a minute. To race bait, of course. Brock Lesnar beats every black man. Blah, 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 blah. Now here we go. A black man comes in the ring and pop up power bombs Lesnar right there in the middle of the ring, and here we go. I am the nation of domination. Like, oh man. Trick Williams, the poster boy, Femi, the destroyer, Javon Evans, the in-ring moment maker. When you got young talent like this, who the fuck needs a Braun Breaker who only knows how to bark and do spears? Well, first of all, Braun Breaker is more than that, and at least he knows how to cut a promo. So, and Trick Williams, he knows how to cut a promo as well. He still needs to work on his in-ring stuff. Javon Evans, in-ring is okay. He's pretty solid, but his promos suck. Femi's promos suck, but at least he has that. I've never watched him live, but he does have that quote-unquote aura to him. He's got a good entrance. He's got a good physique, obviously. But other than that, man, like, the dude still can't really wrestle that well. And it's going to be kind of weird watching him and Brock Lesnar in the ring at this early in this guy's career. But nonetheless, I'm sure it's going to be a good match. Because if not, it's going to be compared to the Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose match at WrestleMania a few years ago. So I wouldn't go that far. And again, I'm sick and tired of them comparing and just grouping Trick Evans. I said Trick Evans. I need to go to bed. But I'm sick and tired of them grouping Trick Williams, Femi, and Javon Evans in the same fucking category because they're three black dudes that came from NXT around the same time. Because Ethan Page is about to blow them all out of the water when he comes up to the main roster. Because if they don't, that means that Triple H truly did fail Ethan Page. This got to be the dream that Martin Luther King was talking about. So, of course, I said, all right, this one's actually funny. You got me. I did laugh at that one. I was like, all right. Like, y'all are so cheesy and so corny with this shit. It's ridiculous, but that was funny. I did find that one funny. But anyways, man, I talked long enough. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Happy for Femi, but this is the wrong move. I felt like it should be Gunther. I still feel like it should be Gunther. But the fact that Gunther doesn't have a match, I mean, I could even understand if you had Royce Keys, because at least he didn't start at NXT. At least this guy came straight from AEW. But now you got him teaming with Jelly Roll and that whole thing. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, man, that I don't know if I want to go down right now. But maybe once we get closer to WrestleMania, I'll talk about that situation. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. I got a Ronda Rousey video coming out as well later on in the week. So be on the lookout for that. It's your boy Corn, and I am OUT.